Like Purdue, it's just an example. Purdue losing to Fresno State is okay. We can still win the Big Ten West. But me,
Billy Napier gets fired. I'm just kidding.
really the best time of the year. I will be seated watching Red Zone for 7 hours on Sunday. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Backyard Banter. Johnny, James, Tanner. Best episode of the whole year. We're filling out our
say that's
entire...
every episode, by the way.
Yeah, but no,
This is
I've
the
said it
actual
for 3
best
of them. This is the best episode. This episode doesn't matter. Justin Fields got traded over the weekend. This episode is strictly us filling out a bracket.
Yeah.
The bracket came out last night. We're just gonna go right into it. Could be a longer episode. We're not gonna go into depth into a lot of the games, but we're gonna pick all the games. We're gonna start with UConn, overall number 1 seed. They play Stetson.
Boom.
So we can speed pick this one. Tanner, I know you want
Yeah,
to
I'm
shout
going to
out.
go ahead and take UConn.
Take
here.
the Huskies here.
UConn, actually, no. Shout out Tristan on Stetson. He's a freshman. He started all the games. I put AU with him back in the day.
There we go.
FAU Northwestern, so good matchup here. I'm excited for this because John L. Davis versus Boo Buie is going to be awesome. I think the difference in this game is going to be Brooks Barnheiser on the wing. I just don't think FAU is a wing that can handle him, so I like the Wildcats.
I agree. I like the Wildcats as well. They shoot it about 40% from 3, and Boo Boo is the talk, but I agree with Barnheiser. He's going to be the difference maker. Can get a double-double for the team and put them past the Owls here. And I hate Owls, fun fact, so that's why I'm not picking them.
Backyard Banter with Northwestern. I'm going with FAU. I just think they're better than the Final Four team that was a year ago. And if you look at San Diego State, FAU, all the teams made the Final Four last year, they had some help in the round 32. San Diego State played Furman, FAU played FDU. But I still think FAU just has that punch, and I think they have the advantage inside with their big boy.
Yep.
Moving on to San Diego State and UAB. I think San Diego State's going to the Final Four. I'll just go ahead and say that now. So I'm taking the Aztecs.
I'll take San Diego State,
Yeah.
legitimately only this game.
Yeah, I like this game too. I liked the Dragons just after watching their game yesterday, but I then looked at their stats today, and this was one of the first games they've played like that to that level. So I don't know. It might carry over, but I doubt it. So I like San Diego State.
Backyard Banter has San Diego
There we go.
State.
I'm going to take Auburn against Yale, 4
Yep.
versus 13 here.
Yeah,
Yale doesn't impress me too
Nope.
much.
Yale
so.
should have lost to Brown over the weekend. There's a lot of Brown players that just were brain dead in the final position. And Auburn, Auburn ran through the SEC tournament. Mississippi State win that they had in the semifinal was their first win by less than double digits. They have 5 plus wins. 24 of them have been by more than 10 points.
Unreal.
They boat raced Florida in the final there. They can play. Well, I think them and UConn are only teams that are, and maybe Purdue top 10 offense, top 10 defense, and KenPom.
I don't think Purdue's quite top 10 defensively.
But they're, Auburn is one of the only teams with that.
Yeah, Auburn, absolutely. I agree.
Moving on to BYU and Duquesne. I think this East region is going to be crazy. So I like Duquesne. I think Duquesne's just a little bit sleeper team for me. I like them coming out of the A-10. So I'm taking Duquesne over BYU. I also haven't been high on BYU all year.
Yeah,
So.
I'm the same way. I haven't been high on BYU, but I have them winning this game. I think they're good enough to win a couple games in this tournament. Hopefully it's only one. But I have BYU here.
I also have BYU. I think this was one of the things where the committee just thought BCU was going to win, and then when they didn't, they just slid in Duquesne into the spot.
Yeah.
I don't think they're an
definitely
11
not an
seed.
11 seed.
Personally,
Yeah.
I think there's a few 12s that are significantly better than them, have a better resume. I know the A-10 is a pretty good conference, but Backyard Banter has BYU. I have BYU in this game. Again, not overly impressed with BYU. I don't. Again, Florida's a 7. I think Florida's better than BYU as a 6. Just one of those points. But have one of the most impressive wins in the season going to Kansas and winning.
Absolutely.
But, so, yeah. BYU.
I'm going to be quick here. I've seen Purdue play Morehead State. They suck. Illinois versus Morehead State, 3 versus 14 here. I'm taking Illinois.
I think we'll
Yeah, the Illini, big win yesterday. I know we're not going to talk about it, but hey, Big Ten champs is Big Ten champs.
Program,
Good game. Last couple games, we were down 15. Come back. Terrence Shannon went for 40 2 nights ago, went for 34 yesterday. So he's legit. He's legit. So shout out to the Illini. But yeah, they're moving on. So, well, hopefully. God willing.
After that, we have one of my favorite games of the first round. We got Mr. DeVries from Drake, who's leading the country in scoring against the quad 1. So the Drake Bulldogs have a guard that can go. Washington State also has a guard that can go. I believe his name is Rice, wears long sleeves. Yep. I'm going to take Drake here. I like Drake. Washington State kind of hasn't been in this spot before. Drake's been a good program for a long time. Taking Drake.
I also have Drake. Washington State playing in the Pac-12, I don't think that's too different than playing in the Missouri Valley.
Yeah.
For the bottom two teams, I think the Pac-12 had 5 or 6 really solid teams, but the bottom of the Pac-12, not much different than the Missouri Valley. So I like Drake, and like you said, the guard on Drake DeVry can really go.
Yeah, I like Drake too. Just to show some respect. Indiana State obviously did not get in, so just for their sake, I hope Drake can win a game in March. But I mean, we'll see. But I like the Bulldogs.
Moving on to the next game. Part of this is just because, like, I think Drake would beat Iowa State anyways in the round of 32. So I'm going to take South Dakota State. This is my big upset pick of the tournament. I always like to find 15 and just ride with them. So I'm taking South Dakota State. I think Iowa State's getting too much talk about not being a 1 seed and beating Houston by 30. I think this is a letdown spot. I'm taking the Jackrabbits. A total gut feeling, and that's all it is.
Cyclones by 25.
Yeah, I also have Iowa State. The reason why they weren't a 1 is because their strength of reg schedule is in the 300s.
Yep.
But Houston was one of the best teams in the country, and they went out and just dismantled Houston.
There we go.
So yeah, there's the first round for the East.
All right, moving on to the West.
Which is a gauntlet.
It is
like,
a
there's a
gauntlet.
lot of good
The
teams
top
left, man.
4
I'll tell you
seeds,
what.
all top 4 seeds, all won their conference.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
The East is totally different than the West. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that.
Yeah.
West
Don't get me started
does
on
not
the
move
West.
me. The 1 seed in the West region is North Carolina.
Moving
They play
through.
the winner of Howard or Wagner.
Moving through.
We're moving them through. Not much.
I'll tell you what, though, RJ Davis, he's kind of scared me after that game against NC State.
We
but
watched that whole game.
but-
James and I sat there.
whatever,
Watched the whole
whatever.
game.
I can get over it.
Yeah.
He had like
He missed a lot of shots.
he shot the ball like 25 times. Like it was kind of incredible.
It's one game. I've watched him a lot. This
Yeah,
year.
he's a stud. He's a stud. Yeah.
8 seed and 9 seed here, Mississippi State.
My
Michigan
favorite
State.
first round game of the
Yeah.
tournament.
This
I'm
could
not
be a
gonna
good
lie.
game.
I'm pretty sure it kicks off the tournament too. First game on CBS.
It is, yeah.
Mississippi State is so good. They got Tolu Smith down low. They got the Matthews guy. They got Hubbard up top as their wings. But I said this to myself. I just feel like there's gonna be a Big Ten team that's gonna make a run. And I don't know if it's going to be Michigan State. Michigan State very rarely loses in the first round.
Yep.
Tom Izzo has them in the tournament for, the 27th, 26th straight year.
Like that, yeah.
Mississippi State's been too inconsistent. I'm going with Michigan State, but if we go with Mississippi State, I have no doubt. I think both these teams could play in the Sweet 16,
Yeah.
but I'm going to go with Michigan State just because I trust their 2 guards a little bit more than Mississippi State.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't sure if Michigan State was even going to get in the tournament. Not only are they in the tournament, they're not in the play-in game, which I expected them to be.
Yeah.
So they're in a 9 seed. Tom Izzo's going to get this team ready to go. They're going to win a game. They might win a couple. They started off bad, right? They were early top 5 picks.
To JMU.
Lost to JMU, who's kind of a sleeper team here in this tournament. But they're back. Michigan State's a good, solid team. They had a tough loss to Wisconsin, who was playing good ball. But I think Michigan State, they didn't deserve to get in. That's my final take. I'll say that. They didn't deserve to get in. But now that they're in, they're a team that can win a game, especially against Mississippi State. So I like the Spartans here.
Yeah, you guys summed it up perfectly. I didn't think Michigan State was good enough to get into the tournament. I'm frustrated they did get in. But if you think I'm going to sit here in front of a camera
Yeah.
that gets posted onto the internet
Yeah.
and pick against Tom Izzo in
Right.
March,
Right.
then you're pretty crazy. So
Yeah.
I'm taking the Spartans as well. I like Michigan State.
That's sweet for the Spartans.
There we go.
Here's one of my first upsets. You can go ahead and say it.
5 seed St. Mary's versus 12 seed Grand Canyon. This game, I don't know who's going to win it. I'm 50-50. You said you're picking the upset. I'll let
St.
you get
Mary's is
into it,
overrated every year. When have they ever made the Sweet 16? They always win the WCC. Again, I think the Missouri Valley is better than the WCC. We're just talking about Drake. Obviously, you got Gonzaga and St. Mary's. And now they play their Grand Canyon, who's very good, had a really good year. I just never see St. Mary's ever go to the Sweet 16. They always lose in the first or second round. So give me Grand Canyon. There's going to be a 12-5 somewhere, maybe even a few.
I have a few,
but
yeah.
I think this is one of them.
Yeah, this is one of my upsets as well. St. Mary's doesn't have a prolific scorer. They don't have a guy that can go up there and just drop 25. And Grand Canyon does. Like, they've got some guards that, and I haven't watched much Grand Canyon ball until it was on in the tournament, but they can get up and go. I'm excited to watch this game. I just don't think St. Mary's has that guy that can take them to the next round. And I think Grand Canyon's going to jump all over that, and I like Grand Canyon here as well.
Yeah, I was going to take St. Mary's, but we're riding with Grand Canyon. Me personally, in the 5-12s, I some of these 12 seeds I absolutely love, but I just think they're too trendy this year. I think there's only going to be one of them, and for me, that's not here. But I actually like the Grand Canyon pick because I like that Grand Canyon team a lot, so I'm okay with that. Alabama, Charleston. Like I said, I only have one 12 seed winning. I have one 13 seed winning, and for me, it's Charleston.
Okay.
I just think that they can play with Alabama. At that tempo, they thrive in that. And Charleston is so fundamentally sound on offense. I've watched 2 of their games the last week. They shoot it well. They don't turn it over. And they play at a very high, fast pace. I think they can outscore this Bama team. So.
Yeah, tight game for me. I have this one being close, but I have Alabama winning it. I think it's going to be a very high-scoring game, like Tanner has kind of mentioned. I mean, it might be 90 to 85.
Over-under could be 300.
But who knows? I like Bama here, and I don't have them moving very far, but I like Bama here in this one.
It really makes me mad that Bama got this easy of a draw. If you just look up, again, I'm just familiar with Florida. If you look at the resumes with Florida and Bama, Florida has more Quad 1A wins. They have more Quad 1 wins. They have the head-to-head 2-1 against Bama. I've been saying for a while Bama's overrated, and it makes me mad that they should get to the Sweet 16. There's no reason why this team, Nados is still a hell of a coach. There's no reason with this team, with Mark Estrada, with Mark Sears, with Garrett Nelson, cannot get to the Sweet 16. I do think they win here. A lot of time off after the Florida whooped them in the SEC tournament, but yeah, give me Bama. I guess Backyard Banter goes with Bama.
There we go.
It's fine. Clemson, New Mexico, 6 versus 11 here. I am so back and forth on this game. Yep. I love New Mexico. I love Jalen House. I love Donovan Dent for New Mexico, but Clemson has P.J. Hall, and that's going to be a real problem for New Mexico. I think that's the weakness on their team is their bigs defensively. So I think this matchup's going to be really, really good. I think if New Mexico wins this game, we'll see them in the second weekend, but I think this game is going to be a battle. For me, I'm gonna go with New Mexico. I got to ride Mountain West.
Yeah.
It's a biased pick. It's a hard pick.
It's all right.
I think this is a 50-50 game.
I got him too. Guards win in March. PJ Hall doesn't bring the ball up. I watched him a lot in the ladder. I saw him against Bama where he was spectacular. I saw him in the ACC tournament where he was really bad. And guards win in March. Clemson doesn't have the guards. I know they got the Syracuse transfer. He's a good player.
Girard.
Yeah, but guards win in March. I'm gonna keep saying it. So I got New Mexico, and I got New Mexico on the second weekend.
I have Clemson here. I think they can shoot it pretty good considering everything. I think they had some big wins this year. And I think they can be the difference. And New Mexico's good. We watched a lot of their ball this week in the Mountain West and everything. They're a good team, but I just like Clemson here to get past tougher conference, whatever. He's going to argue with me about that, but not a big Mountain West guy, so give me the Clemson.
Baylor versus Colgate here in a 3-14. I think this will be a really close game. Colgate will keep it close, like very tight, but in the end, I'm going to take Baylor.
Colgate always keeps it close. I think we all got Baylor, but Colgate always keeps it close.
Yeah, they're a good team. They're a good program that's been here a couple times now, but I think Baylor's just better.
I think it's one of the first games on Friday. It should be a good start to Friday, but moving on to Dayton, Nevada, 7 versus 10.
It's my least favorite game of the weekend. I'm not going to lie. It's my least favorite game.
I think Keenan Blackshear and Jared Lucas are fun to watch for Nevada.
Am I missing something with Dayton? Why they're a 7? Like I understand they're very good. I understand that they're ranked, but a 7? Are you telling me are they better than Texas A&M? Probably not. Are they better than Northwestern? Definitely not.
They just had a good non-con.
Yeah, they had a good start. They had a good record. I mean,
I'm a hater.
I like Dayton here.
Yeah, I'm going to take Nevada. Jared Lucas went to the Elite Eight.
Tough pick here. Your least favorite game.
Jared Lucas played in the Elite Eight, so.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm going to go with Nevada strictly because of my hatred for Dayton right now.
Fair enough.
And I love the 2020 Dayton team with Obi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Nevada. Again, I'm kind of with Tanner on the Mountain West, man. It's a good conference. If you come out there, you know how to play in close games.
There we go.
I'm going to go with, I think we're all going to go with Arizona.
Yeah, but the dirtbag story fires me up. Yeah. Fire their head coach. He goes and wins the tournament, and now he's like, all right. And then
still not coming back.
In the interview, he's like, I'm ready for my next challenge. But he's going to coach this team ready to go, but Arizona's legit. So we'll see. Again, we'll talk about these couple of regions as we move on to the next one. There's 2 really good regions, and there's 2 really bad regions. And it's kind of upsetting because you could have easily split it apart. There's some teams. It's not a travel concern for the NCAA. Boise State's going to Ohio. Like, It
They
wasn't.
got Bama going to Spokane.
Yeah, like it doesn't make any sense. So
Yeah.
the whole idea of travel, whatever, these are Division I programs. The money's not the issue. Obviously, they're going to pay for them, whatever. I think the NCAA kind of messed up these brackets. I think you're going to see some teams just fly through them, where other teams are going to struggle to even get to the second weekend.
We'll see.
That deserve it.
I think the West is weaker than the rest. I think there's 2 good ones. I think there's another one not on the same tier as the West, but I don't.
The South is bad.
I don't disagree with you. I don't think the South is as bad.
Not as bad as the West.
We're about to get into it.
Yeah,
but
not as bad
I
as
think
the
there's
West.
some sleepers in there.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, moving on to the South, top right, starting with Houston Longwood. I think Houston ends up winning this game by 20, but I think this is a Longwood first half money line game.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
I
I
You
think
heard
they
it.
come out
You
slow.
heard it here.
I got Houston.
Yeah.
I told Tanner before this, I truly think there's only 6 or 7 teams in the country that can beat Houston and UConn. I think there's more than that for someone like. I think there are 20 different teams that can beat North Carolina and less than Purdue, but even in Arizona. I think you have to be a very specific team to beat Houston,
Yeah.
and one of those teams you could very well see in this next game.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's Nebraska, Texas A&M. Great game. I think Nebraska is, for me, one of the teams that can beat Houston because of how well they shoot the three. They have shot multiple times over 50% from 3 in games this year, 75% against Purdue. Tommy Naga can drop 30 whenever. But I love Wade Taylor. I think Texas A&M beats Nebraska, but I think if Nebraska beats Texas A&M, they can beat Houston. I think, does that make sense? Nebraska has a better chance of beating Houston, but I think A&M.
I disagree.
wins
I
in
think A&M has a better chance to beat Houston.
I agree with that too.
So I have A&M
I also
beating
have
Nebraska.
A&M, and we're going to do that in the next round. I think A&M has a very real shot to play Houston. They played Houston already without their second best player. Came back down from 17, almost won at the end.
Yep.
Guards win in March. A&M's got 3 really good guards.
Wade Taylor.
Wade Taylor's a
Wade
jet.
Taylor was preseason SEC player for a reason, first team all SEC. And Boots Radford might be I think to me, he's the most underrated player in the SEC.
Yeah.
And then they're the best offense rebound team in the country. They're a team that could, I think they're one of the very probably 8 to 10 teams that could beat Houston.
There we go.
But yeah, we got A&M.
Wisconsin, James Madison. This is my
Tough one.
12
Yep.
over 5.
Yep.
They've won 31 games.
Yep.
They're like FAU last year. FAU won like 31 games.
And we're undefeated.
So give me James Madison.
I
That team
agree.
knows how to win.
I agree. And at the end of the day, Wisconsin sometimes just has inconsistent. They have not put 40 minutes together. Like AJ Storr is a great player in Division I basketball, but I mean, I'm just being whatever. But Coleman Hawkins shut him down in the second half, and that can't happen in March. And I think James Madison has an ability to do that as well. So I like James Madison because they won 30 games.
Yeah.
Like they're legit.
I've been off Wisconsin ever since I saw them play for the first time against Purdue. I said there's no way this team's a top 6 team in the country. And I was right in that aspect as they fell all the way out of the rankings. Tough for Wisconsin, man. Beating Purdue, going to the Big Ten championship, and now you're basically playing almost like a 6 seed in the first round. That's what James Madison really should be if it wasn't, maybe not that high, but they're not a 12.
They did this to themselves though by losing all those games in a row.
No, I don't
then-
disagree. It's just tough.
Maybe they shouldn't have
they've
beat
been-
Purdue.
Yeah,
you could argue
legit,
that,
legit. Because that win did solidify them a 5 or a 6,
we'll see.
and they slid into that 5. Yeah, I
We'll
agree.
see.
We'll move on to Duke, Vermont here. Vermont, another one of those teams that's going to keep it close.
Yeah.
But I'm taking Duke.
Yeah, I like Duke, and I like Duke's road. I think Duke's got a pretty easy road, in my opinion, to
I
get to
agree.
the
They
second
lucked out.
weekend.
They got it.
And
Hey, it could be a rematch of the 2015 Natty in that second round.
Yeah, so we'll see. I like Duke's road, so I like Duke here as well. Yeah.
So we sweep Duke there. Texas Tech, NC State. I
Love
love
this game.
DJ Burns. He is electric.
He's a big
He's
boy.
screaming at
He's a big
people. He's
boy.
pounding his chest. He is a house. He's a tank. I'm taking Texas Tech, though.
Yeah, so am I.
I'm
so,
taking NC State
so am I, man.
Because similar to New Mexico, having to win your conference tournament to get in, I think that momentum goes for one more game.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I really like Texas Tech. I love the Texas Tech point guard. But I have NC State, but Backyard Banter's got
I have Texas Tech also because of the fact is I think they can really make a run. I think it's one of these 6 seeds that can really make a run in this tournament. And NC State, they should not have beat Virginia, so that's a coaching error right there on Virginia's part, not fouling up 3. But whatever, we were all for it in this apartment, NC State fans and DJ Burns.
I just
so.
think that, like, NC State's road, like, 5 games in 5 days, whatever.
Oh, brutal.
But the ACC was off. Like, they pretty much beat. I don't think Virginia was good enough to make the tournament.
No.
So their
beat Duke.
second hardest win was probably
their first boss.
was
Did they play Boston College?
probably
No,
Virginia.
they didn't. They played Virginia.
They beat Duke.
Well, yeah, but he's saying
They beat
their
North
second
Carolina.
toughest win.
Like their second toughest win. Like, I guess they did beat. I forgot.
They beat Carolina in the championship.
Hey,
That's
but like
facts.
still,
Say what you want about Virginia, they will guard you.
Virginia's awful.
It's not like beating Virginia is still not as tough as you. It's still tough because they're going to guard you and they're very well coached.
Yeah, they are very well coached. I agree, but I guess Backyard Banter's going with Tech. So
yeah. Next we got Kentucky, Oakland. Kentucky was a team I said all year I could see them losing first round, but
Yeah, they got a pretty lucky
Not
draw.
not to Oakland.
Very surprised Kentucky was a 3.
Yeah.
Very, very surprised that Kentucky's a 3. I think that's more brand based being a 3. Nah, look, they had an incredible non-conference. They played Carolina. They played Kansas. They played a whole bunch of these teams, but
And they're trending.
Kentucky's a sexy pick to make the Final Four, even win the Natty. Dickie V just picked them to win the Natty, but yeah, I mean we'll see. But Kentucky will cruise here.
Florida versus the winner of Boise, Colorado. I think that Colorado wins that. I think Eddie Lampkin's just too much for Boise State, and I like the Gators a lot. Guard play.
Yeah, all
So,
about guard
I'm taking
play.
Florida.
I don't want to see Boise though. I would prefer to play Colorado. Florida has not lost a round of 64 games since 2011. They're 8-0 in their last whatever. But like you said, guard play. Florida has now 5 guards with the Denzel Aberdeen game. They had 20 against A&M. That can really go. Prayers out of Micah Hanlogan's nasty injury. Never want to see that.
Yeah.
He has the second highest offense rebound percentage behind Zach Edey, just to kind of prove how dominant he was on the offensive glass. But if you're looking at it from strictly a basketball perspective, recently he's only been playing 12 to 15 minutes a game. But still a big loss. Like, you can't replace 7-1 in Agile.
Never.
But I think it won't be too bad. I think Florida matches up really well athletically against these teams.
I think Boise wins this game, and I think Boise beats the Gators.
Okay.
I wouldn't. I can see Boise beating Florida.
Just to be a little different. I think the injury. I don't think it. He's a starter. Whatever. It hurts. He's huge, but. Like you said, they haven't really been using him a ton. He's not like a Zach Edey kind of minute guy. But I just think that injury kind of hurts them. They looked very off without him. Obviously, it's a traumatic injury to watch and see your teammate go out like that. But I like Boise State to win this game against Colorado, and then I think they get past the Gators. But that's just my take. But Backyard Banter's going with Florida.
Again, I'm very mad that Florida not only is a 7th seed, but have to play someone coming from Dayton. One of those teams always wins, and it's tough. I feel like Florida kind of got screwed with their seeding. It's almost like the committee didn't watch them because they dismantled Bama. They came back from 18 down against A&M, and
But they have a 7-seed record. Like that's.
No, they don't. Look, they have a better record than Clemson. They have a better resume than Bama. They have. I mean, technically, if you want to look at what are they 24-11? Yeah, but they have 4 Quad 1A wins, 7 Quad 1 wins.
Yeah.
Have only 1 loss outside the Quad 2.
I think a 7 seed's very. I think it's a good spot for them. I do agree that they shouldn't have to play the winner of the play-in game, but I don't disagree with their seeding.
I don't want to spend too much time on Florida.
Moving on to Marquette versus Western Kentucky. Steve Lutz, first year at Western Kentucky, takes him an NCAA tournament. He was
at Corpus Christi.
Corpus Christi the 2 years before that. Former assistant under Matt Painter. Shout out to him. He gets to the dance again, but I'm taking Marquette.
Yep, Marquette. Yep. Kolek should be back.
Hopefully,
I mean, I don't see a world
Cam
where he's
Jones
not.
is a dude.
We're out of the Midwest. Another reason
Midwest, just a quick disclaimer here. I will not be... I'm very superstitious. And I've never not had Purdue win in the NCAA tournament.
Let's just get him out of the...
So I'm changing it this year.
Yeah.
I'm changing it this year, and I'm picking against Purdue.
Mayo's going to be our pick.
All right, you
Mayo will fill in for you.
You can pick for me.
All right.
I'm out.
We could just kick him out early and just get Purdue out of the tour. Yeah, get out, bro. We got to get our first pick.
For the first pick.
First pick of the game. Are we going with Purdue or the winner of Montana State and Grambling?
Tough one for sure.
Grambling can get after you.
I see a lot of potential in Graham. I forget Grambling. But we will go with Purdue in the first round.
I agree.
I don't think it'll happen twice in a row.
Look, I don't want Tanner to die, so I'm praying that Purdue wins this first game.
Purdue, the Boilermakers. They move on.
All right.
See you, Mayo.
Thank you.
See you in a little bit.
I'll be back in a
Yeah, see you in a little bit. See you in a little bit.
So it is Purdue.
Oh, he just picked it. Wow.
No, I know.
Uh-oh.
Just kidding.
I'm just making sure you guys didn't.
No, we're good. We're good.
All right, Utah State, TCU. I think that Utah State shoots it well from three. TCU's more athletic. TCU's going to play small.
They got a tough matchup in this first one.
Yeah.
I mean, Utah State's had a heck of a year.
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue another team that deserves a 7 more than Dayton, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I'm
one seed out of the Mountain West.
I'm going with TCU.
Me as well.
Too athletic, just like you said. Mm-hmm. And they play in the Big 12, man. It's tough. I know we talk about the Mountain West, but playing the Big 12 year in, year out is tough.
I agree. Totally agree.
All right, so we got Utah State.
Oh,
no, we have TCU.
I'm sorry. I have TCU.
You're good.
Sorry, that was a brain fart.
Here we go.
Gonzaga McNeese. Great game. McNeese is athletic, but again, if you think I'm going to sit here in front of a camera and pick against Gonzaga in March, they've been to 8 straight Sweet 16s.
Yeah.
That's not going to get lost.
God, that's a tough first
Well, guess
game.
what? I'll do it. I'll sit in front of the camera and I'll pick against Gonzaga because I've said some crazier things on this podcast.
Yeah, you have.
So I like McNeese. The committee, when they announced it, they were all circling this game for a reason. McNeese, very undersized. Like the tallest guy I believe on their roster is 6'8". I think he's a kid from Chicago. Very undersized team, but they shoot it almost 40% from the three. And a Gonzaga team that's going to want to play slower. They've got a couple big guys. I think McNeese can really speed up Gonzaga, and I really think if they get hot from the three, it's going to be a tough team to beat. I like McNeese. I'll sit in front of the camera and say I'm not afraid.
Yeah, in my bracket, I've been changing it a bunch, and I'll talk about that when we get the Tennessee region. I have McNeese, but I've been going back and forth on it. I'm picking Gonzaga in this one because you can't bet against Mark Few, man.
Yeah.
They were out of the tournament and then they won this run. They did lose to St. Mary's, who's my second least favorite team in college basketball behind Dayton. But I'm going with Gonzaga. Even though McNeese does have Power 5 scoring, and Will Wade, I think, is a top 10 coach in the country.
Yeah. I would just like to say, any of these 4 teams can make the Sweet 16.
Sure. I agree.
For sure.
I totally agree.
Sure.
Moving on to Kansas and Samford here. I love Samford as a 13 seed. They score a lot of points, but this is not a good matchup for them because of their size. Purdue actually played Samford the first game of the year, and they were tiny.
Yeah.
I mean, they are a small team, and they're going to have to deal with Hunter Dickinson.
Yep.
And so I feel like if it was any other 4 seed, I'd probably take Samford, but not Kansas,
Yep.
just because of their size. So I got the Jayhawks here. Should be a great game
I
still.
agree. I
High
agree.
scoring.
Yeah, got Kansas.
I watched
also.
that game of Samford Purdue, and Samford looked like a Division III team.
Kansas is the most underrated team in the country right now. Like they got up bounced out early.
Now they're healthy.
Their 2 best
Hopefully.
players. Hopefully they're healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a team that beat UConn, that beat Houston, that has all these huge wins.
Yeah.
You know.
And Hunter Dickinson's
Yeah,
legit.
let-
I mean,
let-
he's legit.
let-
And by God, they get and see Purdue again. I don't
didn't
want to
play
watch.
them.
What?
We
They
have
didn't
not
play
played
them
Kansas.
They
We
were-
I'm
played
saying,
Gonzaga.
I'm saying. Oh, no, I'm saying when if you get to that top of the region, I know you're not used to getting that far.
Oh my goodness.
I mean,
Sorry.
they're like over 50%.
You are.
That's
But
just
I'm saying. I was just looking forward to that Hunter Dickinson versus Zach Edey matchup because when Hunter Dickinson was on Michigan, he was bombing threes against Zach Edey, and I loved that. So anyway, we can move on.
South Carolina, Oregon. A lot of people like to take the Ducks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real here. This Oregon team sucks.
No, I don't see
They
it.
got their guy back. Their best
I don't
player.
care that they're
I don't see
healthy.
it.
They're so bad statistically in South Carolina. Like, I mean, last time the Final Four was in Phoenix, they made it.
Yeah, and they
So-
were a 7 seed. Now they're 6.
6. So give me the Gamecocks. I think Oregon sucks.
I am people. I think Oregon's gonna win this game. South Carolina has Michi Johnson, who's really good,
Michi's
and they have a freshman forward. He has 3 names and is escaping me right now. He's really good. He killed Florida, but Lamont Paris is gonna be national coach of the year as he should. But
You like the Ducks, huh?
Dan Altman,
I like
is
the
head coach.
Gamecocks.
Oh, Dan Altman is totally the TCU
coach,
football.
yeah. It's
Whatever,
all right. It's all right.
This dude's name's Dana.
You're all right. Here we go.
Wait, you got South Carolina?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
got
I got the
Carolina.
Gamecocks.
We're moving on to Creighton and Akron. So again,
Shout out Mayo's homie on Akron.
he's on
That being
Zips.
said, Creighton by 30.
Yeah.
Not me. Not me. I have 114 upset every year, and this is the one I have. The Akron
big
Zips.
difference.
I actually propose a matchup nightmare for Creighton. Akron plays physical. They slow it down. They still have good guards who can score. They're athletic. I think if Creighton wins this game, they're going really far. But I think this is going to be a struggle for Creighton. This
Akron
will be a
with all
good
that
game.
stuff, still should have lost to Kent State.
Well, and Akron has, and I don't know his name.
Hayden.
Akron's got that forward who's like up for forward of the year.
Enrique Freeman.
Yeah, stud. Like he's an absolute stud. But I'm biased because I have the Blue Jays going very far.
I think if
not
they win this game,
winning
they'll
it
go
all.
far.
So I like Creighton in this matchup. But I agree, Akron's that's a tough 14 seed to play. And honestly, I was hating on them because I did not want them to be in the tournament because I was scared Illinois was going to have to play them.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever.
Next, we got Texas and the winner of Virginia and Colorado State. Can I just say something? My eyes will be bleeding tomorrow night for Virginia, Colorado State. I don't know.
45 to 40 final.
Like, that is going to be awful. I hate Virginia basketball so much that I'm going to pick Colorado State.
You're still so
I hate Virginia
about the Elite Eight game.
No, he's not. It's a completely different team, first of all.
I will always hate that.
What I'm saying, like, entirely different. They
I
play
watched
different.
that clip again the other day. Like, what are the odds of that?
Yeah, what are the odds? We've watched that multiple times, and it's like, man, how
I watched it
unlucky.
again the other day, and I was like, Kia Clark had the ball behind half court with like a second and a half left.
And somehow the time just froze. And
Anyway,
got the
sorry,
shot
Tanner. I think we all got Texas.
right,
Here.
man. Yeah, Texas. But I'm telling you, those two teams, your eyes might bleed, but Texas has shown an inability sometimes to play good basketball. Yeah. And I hope I'm wrong because we all picked Texas to do decent in the tournament, and they lost in the first round.
We did good on our predictions, though.
So, I don't know.
On to the next game. Would it be March without a 15-seed St. Peter's in the same region as Purdue?
Tennessee by 40.
Don't worry, they will not be there.
All right.
Tennessee.
will.
Yeah,
I got the balls
yeah,
as well.
no, we don't have to worry about that.
Let's go back to the East
We'll go
here.
back to the East.
We got UConn and Northwestern in the round of 32. I'm going to go ahead and start us off. I'm just going to be very blunt. This is my lock of the tournament. My lock. Boo Booey is going to ruin every bracket in America. Northwestern actually kind of matches up decently against UConn. I think Boo Booey has a legacy game. Everybody's picking UConn to win the national championship, and we know that everybody is not going to be right, so I'm taking Northwestern.
I'm gonna pick UConn, but I don't hate the pick. I don't hate the pick though.
Okay,
Okay, so I'm not gonna sit here and tell Tanner that he's an idiot for picking that because I think you're right, and I'll say this one thing: UConn is the number one team in the country according to the brackets, right? Like that's the fact, and they have the toughest road out of any one seed. I think again, it's a mistake by the NCAA committee. They did not award UConn. They have the hardest road. They have the hardest road as a one seed, and I think it's kind of unfair, but whatever. We'll get into it. But if they get past this game, it's not like they're flying. They've got San Diego State possibly, Auburn, two teams that are playing great. I think UConn got screwed, I think they have a tough road, but I like them winning this game. But Northwestern, man, Boo Booey, I just like saying his name. So if he keeps playing,
UConn by double digits. There's 6 teams in the country that can beat 6 or 7 teams that can beat UConn. Northwestern is not one of them.
They still have a tough road, so
we're moving on. UConn,
see.
San Diego State, Auburn. Love the Aztecs here. I think Auburn may have just kind of got their run out last weekend, honestly. But I like this Auburn team, but I think San Diego State, when you have all that experience back, Final Four team, Jaden Ledee is going to be a handle. I know Janai Broom's good too, but I like San Diego State. They have the experience, so I'm going to ride the Aztecs here.
Yeah, I love this game. I think this is a great game, but Ledee is one of my favorite players to watch in the country. He kind of just scares me because he looks like he just means business every time. Like he just never smiles. He's never shows any emotion. He just goes out there and plays, and I like that. So I think they get past Auburn. I like San Diego State.
I think Auburn's going to win rather comfortably here. Auburn goes 10 deep with 10 guys that can really play. They did have the easiest path to the SEC championship in the history of the tournament, but that doesn't take away from any of it. Yeah. I hate when stats like that are brought up because those teams beat the good teams, and Auburn beat those teams.
Sure.
Auburn goes 10 deep. Their guard play scares me. They have a decent guard play, but they guard you. Bruce Pearl is a heck of a coach. But, yeah, I have Auburn here, but Backyard Banter at San Diego State.
There we go. You heard it here first.
On to the next game. I personally have Duquesne going to the Sweet 16 because there's always the most random 11 seed in the Sweet 16, and they're the most random 11 seed.
Sure.
But in a matchup between BYU and Illinois, I'm taking Illinois. I'm not impressed with BYU.
I think Illinois wins rather handily here. Again, Illinois, another team I had a lot of questions about, got pretty easy road, in my opinion, to a Sweet 16.
Unless they play Duquesne.
I wouldn't say it's easy, but I liked our road. When it came out yesterday, I liked it. I tell you what, I
text in our group chat.
I'm more nervous for the first game. I'm more nervous to play Morehead State, and if BYU is the team we play, I'm very comfortable with that. I just think we're way more athletic than they are. So I like the Illini here for sure. Yep.
Moving on to Drake, Iowa State. Again, this is my region of craziness. So bear with me. This is like Loyola versus Illinois. Sorry to bring that up. A couple years ago, and what were they, a 9 seed?
Yeah.
2 teams from the same state. You got the team from the smaller conference versus the big boys. In a matchup between Drake and Iowa State, I'm picking Drake.
All right, well, small boys versus big boys. The big boys are going to win. The Cyclones are legit. I wasn't big on them, and then I don't care if it was a fluke or whatever. You don't 30-ball Houston on accident, and that is one of the most impressive wins of the season. I like Iowa State here. I hope you're right, because I'd rather play Drake as a fan of the Illini, but I like Iowa State here.
I also like Iowa State. They guard you. They got guys that can shoot it. Again, are they going to go on the scoring droughts that they had against Kansas State, that they had against Houston the first time, the second time they played them at Houston? I like Iowa State here, but don't love Iowa State. I also think that an easy road. I think Washington State is the second worst 7 seed. Just because Dayton's a 7 seed. If Dayton
Man, you hate Dayton.
Washington State would be
Lord.
Dayton's going to make the Sweet 16.
Yeah, they are. They might win a natty, bro.
I don't hate Dayton. I'm just playing. But yeah, I got Iowa State.
There we go.
All right, moving on real quick to the West. Carolina, Michigan State.
What a game, man.
What a game, but give me the Tar Heels. I'm sorry. This Michigan State team, I know I just said I wouldn't pick against Izzo, but this team is not as good as the Carolina team.
Yeah, I don't have North Carolina going like crazy deep, but I think they get past this one. Not sure about the moving forward after that.
I think if they win this game, they waltz to the Final Four.
Well, looking at their next matchup, then yeah, but I like North Carolina here, but it's gonna be a tight. If it's gonna be a tight one, you know.
Honestly, North Carolina, if they can get past this game, eat very favorable road. I got North Carolina here, close though. Again, Michigan State with those 2 guards made the Sweet 16 last year. But I think North Carolina, I think their starting 5 is really good.
Very good.
And I don't know if they have anyone to keep, what's our guy's name, Baycott off the glass. So
yeah, Baycott's legit, yeah.
Up next, we got Grand Canyon, the Antelopes taking on Alabama.
Love it.
If we're going to take the Antelopes to beat St. Mary's, I'm going to take the Antelopes to beat Bama.
I agree.
I'm all in on
I like the Lopes.
I'm all in if we're going to do this.
I like the Lopes. Let's go.
I'm taking Bama. But if we're going to take the Antelopes to go to the Sweet 16, I don't hate it. Look, they won a lot of games. You don't do that by accident.
Nope.
And a tough conference, too. Some pretty good mid-major programs in that
This
conference.
is my upset pick right here. New Mexico, Baylor.
I love it.
I got New Mexico
I love
going
it.
to Sweet 16. I had it when it first came out. I think, God, Baylor. This Baylor team, they were the 1 seed when Carolina beat them. And they kind of felt like not a fraudulent 1 seed, but like, the team's probably more of a 3. And this team is probably, they're good, don't get me wrong, probably more of a 4-5 in my opinion. Yeah, give me New Mexico State guard play, man. Baylor will have such an advantage on the inside, though. Baylor's got guys that they just rotate in, but I just like New Mexico State. New Mexico, not New Mexico State.
So Baylor is a team that when they won the national championship, what seed were they? They were
a 1.
Or like the last one, I think. And
they've lost 2 games the whole year.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like they were a team that when I was watching them, they were one of those teams that was barely winning some games and whatever. And the next thing you know, they got into the tournament and they just ran through it. They ran through that year. They ran through that tournament. I think Baylor is a team that has not been playing great as of late, but I think I like Baylor in this matchup. I like Baylor moving forward a lot. They're very well coached. And I think they just have dudes on their team, and I just love Baylor because I'm not super big on New Mexico. That's another reason. Not crazy big on them, so I like Baylor.
If New Mexico's playing Baylor, I'm taking New Mexico. Jalen House is the best on-ball defender in the country. He will lock down Ray J. Dennis, sorry.
Yeah.
And Donovan Dent's gonna go get a bucket too. So give me the Lobos.
Backyard Banter's got New Mexico.
I mean, I guess Backyard Banter's crazy region is the West, which makes sense because
It sucks.
Quick one here. Arizona's beating Nevada.
I mean, staring at this game,
I don't care.
Mountain West Sweet 16 here. Like we could have it.
It's not gonna happen. Arizona.
Arizona
has one of the easiest roads to the Elite Eight I've ever seen.
Arizona should walk to the Sweet 16.
They should walk. They should walk.
They would beat this Nevada team pretty easily.
Yes.
All right, we got Houston and Texas A&M in the South.
Love this game.
Great game, but for me, I will take Houston in this matchup.
Yep.
I know you guys love Texas A&M. I do too, but I think Houston wins this.
Yeah, I like Houston. I think Shed's one of the best guards in the country. Very fun to watch. They are going to take that loss against Iowa State and they're just going to hopefully propel them into this tournament. They're going to fly by Longwood, and I think they're going to fly by A&M.
Yeah, I like Houston here also. I don't know about flyby. A&M's tough.
Yeah, they are.
Get on the offensive glass. Well, like I said, I think there's maybe 10 teams in the whole country that could beat Houston. I think A&M's one of them, but I still like Houston here. A&M's just too inconsistent from the three.
Yep.
They, like against Florida, I think they hit 6 in the first half, and they hit 1 in the second half. That's why Florida's able to come back. So, yeah, give me Houston.
Yep.
All right, so we're going with the Cougs. Up next, we got James Madison and Duke. Going to keep it quick. Well, I love James Madison. They won 31 games. Give me the Blue Devils here.
Yeah, I've been high on Duke all year, man. Give me Duke. I really like their path to maybe make a run here. Give me Duke.
They have one of the easiest draws I've seen as a 4 seed. So I love Duke here. I think they drew very well. So
on to Texas Tech, Kentucky. For me personally, I think Kentucky's very talented. They're very good. I don't see them. They can lose to anybody.
Yep.
They can lose to anybody, and I don't see them winning 2 games in a row in a 3-day span. So I'm taking Texas Tech here. I love this Tech team. They shoot it so well from 3. They showed some grit against Houston to come back in that game. So I like the Red Raiders.
Yeah, I got Kentucky. You know how high I've been on Kentucky. I don't think they're gonna make the Final Four, but I do like Kentucky winning this game. I mean, they got 9 dudes that can really 10 dudes now that they got the transfer of West Virginia back that can really play. They're kind of like Auburn, but better.
Yeah.
I think with their guard play. So give me Kentucky. I wish Texas Tech didn't get Kentucky as for 3.
Agree.
Because I think if they would have gotten even, not saying Illinois, but I would have liked their matchup more against Illinois than against Kentucky.
I agree. I wanted to pick Tech, but for the sake of our podcast and our bracket, I'm going to pick Kentucky, but I totally agree with Tanner. This Tech team is legit, and they can get past an inconsistent and young, inexperienced Kentucky team, which those are all the concerns. Young, inexperienced, inconsistent. So we'll see. I got to pick Kentucky, but I don't hate the pick for the Red Raiders.
Moving on to what I hope happens, because I think this will be an awesome game if we get it. We got Florida and Marquette. This is going to be so much fun.
The guard play in this game, man. Yeah. It's just going to be outrageous. You got Zion Pullen, who has the best assist turnover in the country. I think second best now after playing 35-plus minutes in 4 straight games. But, I mean, Marquette, you got Kolick. He's been hurt. Coming back, having to go guard, where are they going to hide you on? Will Richard? Will Richard can give you 20. He scored 20 in 6 of the last 9 games. Like, you can't hide as a guard defender with Florida. And who's the lefty on Marquette? The dude that got snubbed. No, the other one. The
Iguodaro.
Yeah. And who's the other guard?
Cam Jones.
Cam Jones.
Cam Jones who's sold.
It doesn't matter. He did sell you, but he's
sold.
He's still really good. Again, another minus defender. Florida gets after you on the glass. Marquette's one of the worst rebounding teams. That's exaggerated. They're very good compared to some teams. But Florida's number 2 offensive rebound team in the country and top 5 rebounding team in general. Marquette just doesn't have that with them. And Marquette's 2 of their best guys came in hurt. Right when this came out, I was mad that Florida was a 7. And I saw they played Marquette as a 2. I really like that matchup for Florida. And I really think Florida can go and beat them. I think if Florida wins this first game, they're playing with house money, man, playing against Marquette.
I like Marquette.
You're taking Florida. I think this will be a great game.
I like Marquette.
Marquette's been too good the last 2 years to not make a second weekend. I think Cam Jones is playing at an unreal level right now. I think Marquette wins in a very close game.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
He did it in the
championship. How healthy is Cole? That would describe to me the outcome of this game.
I think he's going to be perfectly fine. I think he could have played against UConn in the championship, but I think
they held him out. Yeah,
I think they held him out for this tournament.
But there's nowhere to hide him. He's going to have to go guard someone. He's going to have to play 30-plus minutes. And if he's healthy, we're going to really see.
Yep.
But I don't mind. I think Marquette could go far.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
All right. I did some thinking over there on your couch.
Hold on. We got Purdue, TCU.
TCU. Okay, so TCU's mascot, what are they?
The Horned Frogs.
And what is a horned frog actually? It's a lizard.
Oh.
What rhymes with lizard? A wizard.
A wizard.
Now, what do wizards brew? They brew a potion.
Sure.
Now, what rhymes with potion?
Lotion.
Motion.
Oh.
And Purdue has no motion. Purdue has no motion. I got TCU in 4. I got TCU in 4, even though it's only 1 game.
All right.
That's what I got.
I got Purdue.
I kind of want to I want to pick TCU, but the problem is if I pick TCU, then Mayo can't come back. So I'm going to pick Purdue so they stay in the tournament because I can't wait to see what you.
I'll be back in a minute.
Can't wait.
I like Purdue though.
I can't wait to see what you brew up.
No, I like Purdue. I think Purdue.
Genuinely, I like Purdue.
Yeah. We'll see. they better win this game.
They got a good draw, man. They got a good draw into
They
the
get to the
Elite
second
Eight, and we'll see. But
So wow, I'm back in. That was incredible.
That
I
was.
gotta say.
I had no idea where you was.
That
going
was
with
incredible.
That one,
But
apparently you have no motion.
I know, apparently
No
not.
motion.
No motion.
No motion.
Gonzaga plays Kansas here.
Love this game. I love this game. What a head coaching matchup.
Yeah.
Give me Gonzaga.
I like Kansas here. I'm serious. I think Kansas is one of the most underrated teams right now. McCullough and Dickerson, before they got hurt, let's not forget, like I said, they beat UConn. They beat Houston. They have a lot of big-time wins. I know that was maybe earlier in the year. This is how healthy Kansas is going to be since the new year. So that's why I got Kansas to knock off Gonzaga.
Yeah, I have Kansas here too, just because I have McNeese. But whatever. So I like Kansas here because, like you said, man, they are a matchup nightmare. Like they are. Like it's hard to guard Hunter Dickinson. Like that's a fact.
I think
a healthy
Furphy
guy
is a big X factor for them. He's got to be able to shoot well from the perimeter. They don't have a lot of perimeter shooting. Harris is not a shooter. He's one of the best facilitators in the game, but Furphy's got to play big for them.
Yeah, I agree. We move on with the Jayhawks.
My sole reasoning with Gonzaga, because I think this would be a great game, is just they always make the Sweet 16.
Yeah, they do.
What a coaching matchup.
So, South Carolina, Creighton. Again, I have Akron beating Creighton, but in this matchup, I would take Creighton.
I like Creighton too.
They're good.
They're my national champion pick, so I like Creighton. Yep.
Texas and Tennessee.
Let me talk about this one.
Give me the balls.
You got the balls. This is how back and forth I am on Tennessee. No team that's ever lost in the first round of their conference championship has won the national championship. I think it's from either 1980 from 1990, pretty large sample size. In my bracket, I went from Tennessee winning the national championship to them losing this game against Texas. It really scares me if Dalton, remember I don't say his last name, if Dalton cannot score. They do not have a secondary score. They got Sakai Ziegler, who was about 3 of 17 from 3. That's not actually was how I felt he was against Mississippi State. You got Adu down low, and then you got Vescovy, who's been there forever, who's now went from averaging 12 points to averaging 6 points, and he's not been shooting well this year. So I could very well see a scenario where he steps up and plays well, but I think this is Max Abmas' time. This is Zakai Sigler's the depoy in the SEC, but I just, it's a gut feeling here. Rick Barnes going against his old team. I like Texas here, but if Tennessee were to go, what a matchup against Creighton.
I have so far, obviously I haven't filled out, ESPN lets you fill out 25, and believe me, I max it out. I get to 25. But I have 4 national champion picks, and I'm very upset because 2 of them are in this region, and it's Creighton and Tennessee. Texas, again, I talked about it, they were not impressive, but they're a team that they can play well. They've had some big wins. They've played well at times, but Tennessee, the problem is, like you said, Dalton Knecht sometimes is legitimately the only guy. He scored 40 against Kentucky and they lost.
They don't have a consistent secondary score. It's really scary.
And it's scary for Tennessee.
Teams like that don't make a run in March
because they don't guard us.
They guard at a high level, but not at
the level as I think we thought preseason. Preseason, we thought they were going to be one of the best defensive teams, and they're not there yet. But Tennessee gets past this game for me, and I don't want to pick the next game they play because it's Creighton versus Tennessee. But
I got Texas. Backyard Banter's got Tennessee.
Yeah.
Here we go. Sweet 16 time.
All right, we're gonna go back up to the East region, top left, and a game between UConn and San Diego State. I don't even have UConn getting there, but at this point, if UConn gets this far. I guess I think them to beat San Diego State. If they do.
UConn's going to win. Tristan Newton is the most underrated player in the country.
Yeah. Give me the Huskies.
He's the Big East player of the year. Still no one's talking about him. Had, 20 in the first half against, who was their semifinal game? Against St. John's. Still no one talks about him. I got UConn.
Yep, UConn.
On to Illinois, Iowa State. If these two teams were to meet up, I think this is a perfect matchup just because you got Iowa State who defends and you got Illinois who doesn't defend. You got Illinois who scores and Iowa State who doesn't score. So, this is strength on strength. Yeah. At the end of the day, defense travels. Yeah. So I would take Iowa State in this matchup. But I would probably 50-50 to be honest.
Yeah, I'm also 50-50. Iowa State's going to have a game in the tournament where they don't score, where they go through a drought, and I think this is a game giving me a line eye.
Gosh, you were supposed to pick Iowa State, I can just pick Illinois and not be upset.
I think Illinois got a really comfortable path to as comfortable as it's going to get in March.
It's not the 2 seed I wanted to see.
I don't blame you.
Just because of how hot they are. Gosh, I wanted you to pick Iowa State so I can respectfully pick Illinois. I'm going to pick the Cyclones. I'm going to pick the Cyclones for the sake of our podcast. because I agree with Tanner that defense does travel, and like he said, Illinois can't guard a parked car unless it's Terrence Shannon Jr. because I think he's a very good defender, and same with Coleman Hawkins.
yeah.
But
Well,
you know what? Nah. The Illini are winning that game. You know, I'm sick and tired of it. Coleman Hawkins is going to play better. He's going to be a difference maker. Marcus Domas, Terrence Shannon Jr. They're going to win this game.
Got a lot of guys
They might win a national championship. Who knows? No, probably not.
Might,
Probably not.
North Carolina.
Carolina, Greg Kenyon. I'm going to take the Tar Heels.
Yeah. Tar
Good
Heels.
run for Greg.
Great run.
New Mexico, Arizona.
Arizona.
I'm gonna take
Arizona has the
I hate
easiest
the West
road.
region. I hate
Easiest
that
road.
region.
Easiest
I'm gonna
road.
keep saying it. The West region. I texted you guys immediately when it came out. The first thing I said, right when they said the teams, I was like, "Wow."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
We'll move on.
Houston and Duke going back up to the South. Give me the Cougars, man.
I think if Houston gets out the first weekend, I think they can go to the Final Four. Again, I'm very high on Duke. I think Tyrese Proctor still has a game left in them. And Duke comes out with you with a lot of different guys that can score.
Yep.
But defense travels, man.
Yep.
Give me Houston.
I agree.
Kentucky versus Marquette. I mean, I don't even have Kentucky getting here. I think Marquette beats them anyways.
I don't have Kentucky. I don't have Marquette getting here. I do have Kentucky getting here. I can't trust Kentucky. I just had like a seizure.
It's all right.
I can't
You
trust
okay?
Kentucky. I have them in my bracket going to the Elite Eight. Again, I change it every 15 minutes. I guess I'm going to go with Marquette. But again, that's the most 50-50 out of all the games for me. That's my least confident pick so far. Well, I guess we
I
already
have
picked Marquette.
no idea.
But
All right, you guys picked Marquette?
Yeah,
Cool. I don't even want to give an answer because
it's a tough
I kind of agree now with Teaster that Texas Tech is going to beat Kentucky. So, and I don't know, man. So I don't even know if these two teams are even going to even both be in this side. Like Florida could be there, Tech could be there, and we could both be wrong on both these games. But I guess I'll go with the Wildcats just to change things up a little bit.
Here's the crazy thing about this game. Potential game. Kentucky, out of all the 3 seeds, probably has the best chance to win a national. You could argue Creighton. Yeah. Marquette, out of all the 2 seeds, at least in my opinion, has the best chance to win a national championship, but could lose to anybody.
I think Arizona.
I think both teams could go all the way, but could lose anybody.
Yeah. So I guess we're going with Marquette, though. It's time for Tanner to leave again. Purdue's in the Sweet 16.
Are they, though?
According to this.
Who knows? Here we go.
We got Purdue, Kansas. Man,
Get us started.
All right, y'all know I don't got Purdue here, but real analysis time from the man behind the camera. In the spot, I actually do like Purdue against Kansas. I just haven't been a big fan of Kansas all year. That's just my 2 cents, but I'll pass it to the analyst to give further.
I was just talking about how much I like Kansas, and I do think Purdue matches up fairly well against them. I just don't think Kansas has the guard scoring necessary to make as deep a run as they had, so I also like Purdue here.
So I like Kansas here. This is the first time I ever turn against Purdue because of a couple reasons.
I mean, I don't hate it.
Purdue's guard play has cost them in years past, and it's been a very important piece for them this year. Braden Smith kind of went down.
Pressure lawyer 30 piece.
But like I'm telling you, their guard play, and this is my opinion, who watches a lot of Purdue ball with Teaster. Yeah. Their guard play has not looked as impressive. I hate Lance Jones. I will officially say that. Not a big fan of Lance Jones. I think he flops all over the court, and I think it won't matter. I think Kansas is a matchup nightmare for Purdue. I think they already played against each other, if I'm right, Tanner? No?
Wrong.
Did they play?
No.
Perfect. Even better. I like the Jayhawks here. I think Hunter Dickinson versus Zach Edey's the matchup of the tournament, first of all. Those two going at each other, I'm all for. The guard play for Purdue is going to falter here. I think Kansas wins this game. But that said again, I have Purdue winning a national championship in one of my brackets. But in this matchup, I like Kansas here.
I don't hate Kansas here either. But I'm sticking with Purdue, so we got Purdue.
I'm going with Purdue.
All right, you're staying in here, man.
Oh, I'll be back.
I don't like this.
Come on.
I do not
Come on.
like this.
Come on.
Oh, I do not like how this
Man, you
is
might not
going.
be able to pick a national champion.
I might not be able to.
That's crazy.
You'll be able to.
All right. Well, Creighton and Tennessee. Give me Creighton.
I also like Creighton here. When you got 3 guys that score over 15 a game against Tennessee, who doesn't have the secondary scoring, yeah, give me Creighton.
I like Creighton as well. Boom.
I do have concerns that Tennessee defensively can really
They can
mess a lot of things up for
Look,
Creighton offensively.
Tennessee can win a national championship. Let's not get this twisted, but I think they got a really tough draw.
Yeah.
All right.
Elite Eight time.
UConn and Illinois.
I think Illinois meets their match here.
I think UConn would win this.
I agree.
Again, even though UConn's going to lose to Northwestern. North Carolina and Arizona. This is awesome.
Caleb
this
Love
is cinema. We need it. Caleb Love playing against North Carolina again.
It's basically Caleb Love versus RJ Davis at the end of the day. It's not versus school. It's versus guy. Like it's guy versus guy at this point. So
I'm gonna take Arizona. The Final Four is in
I
the state of Arizona.
I have Arizona as well.
I think Arizona is sneaky good.
They drew super well too. I'm telling you.
Like
they might have faltered in the Pac-12.
I think their starting five is really good. I think they got two big guys that can really play.
Yeah.
And I really like Arizona.
Yeah, I agree.
They're staying home for the Final Four.
Get out of here.
Moving on to
you're in for one more game. Right.
Yeah. Houston and Marquette.
I think Houston would eat up Marquette.
I agree.
I
like Marquette's road to get there, but they're going to run into a tough team.
Marquette is not one of the 8 teams that can beat Houston.
I agree. I like Houston.
Teams. I think Houston would just eat them up.
You go, Mayo. Mayo, you're back.
All right.
You might be back after this pick. You know where I'm going. So
I don't want Purdue to win the Natty on our pod. I don't want that to be.
Now I was going to pick against them. Now I might pick them.
All right. Well, in my bracket here, I have Akron versus Purdue, but the Backyard Banter went a different direction. In this spot, if Creighton somehow finds a way to beat Akron, which they will not, I think Creighton would beat Purdue here. I do see what you guys are saying, how Creighton is one of those teams that could win a national championship. I believe that. I have my bias, and when Akron beats them, I would like a segment on the show here, a little moment, but I'll take Creighton.
Yeah. I'm also, I don't know. This is another one. This and the Marquette Kentucky game are the two ones that I don't really have a feel for. My head is telling me Purdue. My gut is telling me Creighton. A team with Fletcher Lawyer in the starting five is not going to the Final Four. Give me Creighton.
Yep.
The thing is, I hate things. Creighton's point guard to me is not impressive. They have 3 really good players, and then after that, it just drops off significantly. I think Purdue has a solid 7 guys, 8 guys that can really come in and play. I don't know. I guess I'm going Creighton, but I'm not confident in that pick whatsoever.
Well, either way, this was Mayo's last segment because I was going to pick Creighton. So Creighton's winning a national championship in my eyes. So we really appreciate you joining us.
Good luck to your team.
Best of luck. We got to get Teaser back in here. Purdue has officially been knocked out. They made a good run. Teaser's probably not upset if they make it this far.
Would you rather them lose in like the round 32 or the Elite 8?
Elite 8. But here's the thing. I've said this. And no, mentally I would rather them go for it. I want to watch this team play as long as I can.
Facts.
But I've said this all along. I'm not satisfied with anything less than a Final Four.
Yeah, as you should.
I'm only satisfied if they make the Final Four. I'm satisfied. Obviously, the goal is to win a national championship.
They're the 3rd best team in the country. You should not be upset if they don't make
Final
it.
Four.
On to the Final Four. Glendale, Arizona.
Tough, the Final Four.
I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's all right.
Between UConn and Arizona, I would pick Arizona here just because everybody's picking UConn.
I agree.
And the national champ can't be that obvious.
Yeah, I'm taking Arizona also. Again, Klingham gets in foul trouble too often for UConn and for me. And I think they can beat you from anywhere, but I think Arizona is in that same tier as Kansas where they're underrated. Arizona's got those 2 big guys that can really play, and you got Caleb Love who can give you 30 any night. When you have that kind of combination, I think you can make a run in the title game. So as much as it pains me because I love UConn, I love Dan Hurley, I love Tristan Newton, give me Arizona here. And partially because I want Florida to be the same team, the only team to win back-to-back, and I like seeing that every time they talk about it. So give me Arizona.
Yeah, you picked Arizona. Yeah. I like UConn. I think UConn is the best team in the country. Obviously, sometimes the best team in the country, maybe this isn't crazy, but sometimes the best team in the country doesn't win a national championship. Like, that's kind of crazy. But it doesn't make sense sometimes. But sometimes you just get it run into a team that either got a good draw, like this Arizona team did. And again, if they get a good draw and they make it to the Final Four, it's not a team you want to see. I think UConn's they're the best team. They're the best coach team in the country. And I just think Tristan Newton is one of my favorite players to watch. So I like UConn. But Backyard Banter's going with Arizona. The Wildcats are making it to national championship.
Yeah, I like that. It's in their home. It's in their home state. Yeah. So. Yeah, next game, Houston-Creighton. Houston dominates.
Houston would eat Creighton alive.
Dominates them.
Feed me.
Sorry,
Houston
James.
here.
It's all right. I have Creighton. That's all right. I'm okay with that.
I like this natty. This would be a fun natty.
This would be a fun natty. The Pac-12 is not winning a national championship.
I agree.
Although it would be cinema. Last year, the big Pac-12.
It would make sense, man.
I'm going to go with the Houston Cougars in this matchup against Arizona. What do you guys think?
I agree. I think Houston, after running through these brackets, has some favorable matchups where it's like, oh my gosh, they killed them. Like when if they got to Marquette in the Elite Eight, oh my god, the game's already over before it started because I just don't see any way physicality for them to compete. This Houston team's got a decent road. Again, they're in the South, so the second worst in my opinion in terms of regions and everything. So I like Houston's road, man, and they're legit.
Yeah.
They've had one bad loss.
Yeah.
They've had one bad loss. So.
I think if Houston gets out the first weekend, I think they will maybe not win the national championship. Like we have an opinion on different matchups and whatnot, but I think they will make the Final Four. Houston defends you like no team that I've really seen since I've really started watching college basketball. Coach Sampson over there has been just a stalwart. I mean, they're so good, and now they got the point guard. Now they got Shed. They got the point guard that can do it. They got Emmanuel Sharp. I think he's their X factor. He's got to be able to score it. LJ Cryer, he was on that Baylor team that won the national championship. He's been there. He can really shoot it. They're the most low-risk team for me, in my opinion, to go win a national championship. Every other one of these other teams have risk. I mean, we have two people that think Creighton's going to get upset in the first round. No one thinks Houston's going to get, obviously, upset in the first round. It's tough. But Houston, for me, is the most low-risk team in the entire championship. And teams like that normally go far. And when you defend, man, defense wins championships. Houston defends like no other. So Coach Sampson, he'll get his first one as a coach, as a natty, and give me Houston.
There we go.
I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that as a podcast.
What do we have to score? If it's Houston's, probably like 98 points combined. I'm kidding.
I'm going to guess 61. 68-61. That's my final.
70. I'll go 74-68.
I was gonna say 76.
We're always locked in.
76-68.
Man, you guys are.
So we would go with probably
146. I don't know.
145. Yeah, 145 is a good number.
I'll take the under.
And we're gonna put this in a bracket challenge. So if you guys want to join our bracket, fill your own brackets, click the link in the description. We'll also put it in the comments. Also, join the bracket. I mean, we don't know how many people we get. It could be just us four and my mom, or we could get a pretty good turnout. We're gonna post this on Instagram Reels, TikTok. But join it up, and hopefully we see you guys bracket in there. The winner of the bracket, maybe we'll get a guest appearance on the podcast.
Yeah, maybe.
James.
Yeah,
we'll see. But
they can have my chair for a pod. I don't care.
If you guys made it this far, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe. March Madness, again, there's very few things better than this.
Lock in. Find a chair on Thursday. Sit down the whole day. Cancel work. Cancel school.
Go to class.
I can't wait for Kevin Harlan to be
Yeah.
He's calling the Florida game.
He's calling Indianapolis.
It's awesome. So we appreciate you guys so much, and we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Peace.